Hey guys, so Log Horizon episode 15 just came out, and I just watched it and it was really good. I really liked this episode. Toya, Minori in particular, definitely came through with showing the team the error of their ways. Not necessarily, more like showing them how to coordinate and work better as a team, especially Rudy. She, instead of pointing out their flaws and pointing out and judging, like, hey, you didn't do this right, or you should have done this when this person did it, she isolated each person individually. Hey, tell me your favorite skills. Tell me how you like to use them. Tell me when you feel you should use them in fights. Stuff like that. And it really made them see the error of their ways for themselves. Like, oh, I should have waited to use my Orb of Flames instead of, using it before Toya aggroed, because then the aggro all came to me. I really like how she definitely lets them correct themselves and see where they went wrong and make sure that it doesn't happen again. And I definitely have to thank Minori for that in particular, because these past few episodes, she's definitely been hush-hush. She's obviously not the most confident and the strongest of characters, but this is definitely good development for her. The fact that when she's able to, she says what's on her mind, and in the long run, like this episode, it turns out for the better. And so the battle was like really awesome, because for the past few episodes, we haven't been getting a lot of action. We've been getting more political aspects and, casual talk between the people of the land and the adventurers with Shiro and stuff like that in the round table. But the battling in this episode was really hype. Like, the music was what hyped it up the most. The music for this battle in particular just made it feel like it was a legit MMORPG video game. Not even an MMORPG, just like an RPG. Like, in traditional RPG, you just walk up to a monster and then it's that battle cinematics, and then the music's like da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Like, that's literally what I felt like. It was like a legit video game at that point. And I feel like this anime just does that perfectly. The music is always on cue, and it's almost like having real life theme music in the background. But as far as that goes, they definitely were a brand new team. Toya, aggroing the hell out of the beginning with the formation, Sarara backing them up with healing, Isuzu and Rudy going offensive, and then you had Minori backing them up, watching for enemies and patrols. Definitely looked like a completely different team compared to if you go back and watch the first time they walked in there. They were bumping into each other, their spells were bouncing off of the walls, and they were running out of the caves, like running for their lives. So definitely like this episode, particularly for the battles and their development. They all look like they're a lot closer and more friendly than before. And that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to, especially with Toya and Minori being a part of Log Horizon. But further down the episode, we get, this episode is pretty much dedicated towards them five. And then later down the line for the episode, you get Rudy and Isuzu getting some bonding time. She seems pretty fond of Rudy. I believe they might have some love interest going down the road. Based on the opening and the ending, it seems like they are very fond of each other. It seems like, he's going to be like the lapdog to her, or whatever you want to call it. But it seems like they do hit it off pretty well. They do get along nicely. And the funny part was the fact that she doesn't get nervous around him, so she felt like, he's really charming, he's really nice, and normally for a girl to like a guy, she gets nervous around him, and she's not nervous around him, and it turns out it's because he reminds her of like a golden retriever because of his long blonde hair and that little face that he made in the episode, and I started laughing at that. I was like, that's pretty funny. That was pretty funny. But, I mean, for that aspect, and this raised up a really good question, actually. A theory, if you will, that I had sprung from this episode, but supported through, other things from this episode and in the past. The fact is, she likes Rudy enough to add him on his friends list, and when she went to add him, he made like this facial expression that raised the question of, I don't think he wanted her to add him. I think he wanted her to just be around him and not add him. But she went to add him, and his name got declined from her friends list, like it just canceled out. And after she did that, his facial expression was like, oh crap, she's trying to add me. I can't let that happen. Now, the theory that I have is, I think, as of right now, I believe that he is a people of the land. He is an NPC. Now, I don't necessarily have the full, backup for this theory. The fact is, I don't know if NPCs can have level ups. I don't know if NPCs can have names and travel with people like he is. He literally acts as if he is a traditional adventurer. But based on that, the fact that he can't be added, I doubt NPCs can just be added on any random person's friend list. So that's one of the arguments that I can say. I doubt you can add an NPC naturally. And if he is an NPC, they wouldn't know, because he seems so much lifelike, like an actual adventurer. And then the second thing is, if you look at the opening, You know, the opening definitely tells you a lot about an anime, things to come and things like that and etc. Like those fish monsters that I'll get to in a little bit later, they were portrayed in the opening and now they're introduced this episode at the very end. And for Rudy, it shows a scene where him and Isuzu are both sitting on, like, he looks like he's dying, like he dies in her arms and she's like crying and it's like raining and stuff like that. And for what we know, adventurers can't die. They just get respawned, and from what we learned last episode, they lose a bit of their memory each time. But NPCs, when they die for good. So I'm not necessarily sure if he is an NPC. Based on those two assumptions, based on those two supporting factors, I wouldn't be surprised if he is, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Let me know in the comments if you guys do support this theory, or if you think, you know, I'm jumping to conclusions, or I need things to unfold a bit more. But if it does come out to be true, I will really be excited that I actually picked up on this very early on. But like I said, moving on towards the end of the episode, we get those fish demi-human monsters, and they just come out of nowhere. They're responsible for that glimmer on the water that we saw a few episodes back. And we have no idea what the hell that is, where it came from, why these monsters are attacking. And you have like the summer group of kids running into the forest. You have Shiryu defending the Crescent Moon Alliance and trying to get everyone to safety. So I don't know if, you know, the demi-humans are actually conscious at this point of the fact that things are moving in a particular way with the Round Table, the NPCs, the people of the land, and the demi-humans, since we learned about their backstory in the last episode. But it's definitely working towards a conflicting plot, which I'm definitely excited to see, because we haven't had any conflicting issues for a very long time. But let me know what you guys thought about this entire episode overall, anything in between, anything I mentioned or missed out on. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that, guys. But that's all I got for you guys this week, and I will catch you guys next week. Peace.